What's up everybody, Brad here with the Money Dad channel. In this video I'm going to go over all of these stocks that you see on the right side of the screen, from ASRT all the way down to Zomedica. So that's what, 10, 12 stocks, something like that. And the goal here is for me to make this entire video without making a single edit in post. Yesterday I posted a lightning round video that ended up actually after post being 25 minutes long, and I want to make this one a lot shorter than that. So I want to go through all these stocks here on the right because we are having an incredible day in the market for the second day in a row. Some of these stocks were up just crazy this morning. They have sold off a little bit late morning to afternoon. At the time of this recording it's 11:40, so that's kind of the time in the market that we typically see, like that late morning sell-off. So nothing to worry about here. It's kind of expected. I've been expecting it all morning. People taking profits, not a big deal here. We will see, what happens this afternoon if we swing back up or if we continue to sell off. That will change my sentiment on some of these stocks, but with where we're at right now, let's go over all of these tickers from Assertio all the way down to Zomedica real quick. I'm going to try to do like 30 seconds to 1 minute on each stock. All right, so starting with Assertio. So you can see we are in this bull flag again. We got back into it and we're actually breaking out today. The reason I am not buying this breakout though is this earnings call tomorrow. I do not like to hold short-term trades through earnings calls, so I will not be buying this breakout. Unfortunately, this breakout, we've been waiting for it for a while, and it finally happened. We did have a fake out, about a week ago, and it looks like we're breaking out again, but it's bad timing. It's coming right before this earnings call. So this earnings call tomorrow could absolutely be the catalyst that sends this stock way higher or way lower, but I am not going to be gambling on a 50-50 shot, because we just have no idea what they're going to say in that earnings call. Okay, so that's what I got for Assertio, stock ticker ASRT. Let's move on to Cleanspark. Cleanspark is back up in our bull flag channel, so love to see it. We were breaking down pretty hard last week, and this week we have climbed all the way back up into it, cut through this Fibonacci level right here, so love to see that as well. And I'm just a long-term believer in this company, so while it's nice to see these kinds of patterns play out on this chart, I'm probably going to hold this company in stock no matter what anyway, unless some crazy news comes out where it changes my sentiment of this company. All right, let's move along to Fuelcell. Fuelcell had a particularly amazing day today, not just because it was up really big this morning and it's still up 5% today, but the reason here is we had a head and shoulders pattern forming on this stock chart, which is very bearish, not a good thing for a stock. It was supposed to drop like a rock after touching this neckline right here. You guys see this blue line right here? That's the neckline for the head and shoulders pattern. We had a shoulder, a head, another shoulder. It dropped below. It came up to kiss the neckline, and usually that's the kiss of death in a head and shoulders. You normally just break down from there, way lower. And this morning, we gapped up above the neckline. So that was, just perfect timing to kind of save this stock from that kiss of death that you get with this head and shoulders pattern. So great timing there for a good day for Fuelcell. We'll see, if we can hold above this neckline, then we should be good to go. If we break down below this neckline, I'm gonna start to worry and wonder, is this head and shoulders pattern still in play? Okay, that's what I got for Fuelcell. Let's move on to Gevo. Gevo, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one other than the chart looks fine. I know that's not like great analysis or anything. The one thing that I was watching on this chart was this gap back here from middle of January, and it took a while, but how gaps work, we tend to come back and fill them, right? So we climbed all the way up here into that $15 range and eventually came all the way back down to fill this gap. And as soon as we filled it, boom, started heading higher. So I think the coast is kind of clear here for Gevo from a gap theory perspective anyway. I'll still be watching, Fibonacci levels. I might look for chart patterns, things like that. But from a gap perspective, this chart is looking a lot better now that it's come down and filled that gap. All right, let's move on to NIO. NIO today has been sitting right on this Fibonacci level. I've been watching this all day to see if it's going to break down under it or if it's going to bounce and head up. So it's fine right now. It looks like it is starting to tick slightly under it. I'm not going to be terribly worried about it if it's slightly under it or on the line. If we start to see it really start to move down, then that would be a bad sign, and I would be, kind of wondering, all right, are we just going to start to kind of plummet down to this next level right here? So as long as we hold here, this 41, it's sitting at 41.80 or so. As long as we hold right there, I think we're fine. All right, Palantir is one that I almost bought today. I did buy 2 stocks today. I haven't gone over either of them yet. They're somewhere on this list still. And I bought one of these stocks 2 days ago, and I'll talk about that as well. So Palantir, I've got my eye on to purchase. Haven't made that purchase yet. Almost did, because we got all the way up above this blue line right here early in the morning. And I kind of see that as this trend line is kind of a floor, I think, once we get over it. But until we get over it, it's going to act as resistance. We're going to be butting our heads up against it, kind of like we did this morning. We were over it, temporarily this morning, and that got me a little excited, and I was getting close to hitting the buy button, but I wanted to wait and see, were we going to get that late morning swoon? And sure enough, we did, and we have started to drift a little bit lower on this one. So I'm going to wait and see if we can get above this blue line. If we do get above that blue line, then this chart will look much, much better for me, and I'll probably be a buyer. All right, Plug Power. Stock ticker PLUG, Plug. We got above this line that I drew, this trend line. It looked like it acted as support when we were coming down. We bounced right off of it. It lined up nicely with where we gapped up before back in early January. So it looks like there is a good amount of buyers here at this level. So I drew that line a while ago, and it looks like we bounced right up above it this morning. I was wondering if it was going to act as resistance yesterday. Now, all that said, if we drill all the way down into the 15-minute candlesticks, I was tracking an inverse head and shoulders for the last few days. So I had a price target of $45 on this chart. I talked about it in my stream last night. I talked about it to my channel members in my community post. If you're not a member yet and you want to see my active buys and sells in as close to real time as I can possibly get, and even my thoughts before I'm about to buy something or consider buying something, if you guys are interested in any of that, please consider joining the channel. It's $2.99 a month. It helps me out, helps my family out, helps the channel out, and hopefully you get something out of it. I'm not a financial advisor, but maybe you take my opinion and throw it in there with the rest of your research and do what you want with it. But I at least am letting you know what I'm doing with my own money. So this was an inverse head and shoulders that projected to that $45 range, and we nailed that $45 range today. And as soon as we hit it, started backing off. So that chart pattern worked out pretty much perfectly. I didn't play it. I could have made good money on that if I did. There's 2 chart patterns that I watched myself not get into and not make money on that played out yesterday and today. But, it is what it is. You only have so much capital to work with, right? And I tied my capital up in a couple of different trades. Speaking of safe bulkers, this is one that I bought today. And the reason is we have a breakout over this bull pennant right here. This blue line, we broke out today over it. That is our confirmation to enter this trade and target $3.78. I think I'm setting my sell for $3.75 just to be safe, and I have a stop loss underneath this pennant at $2.65 as well. So I bought in at $2.83, so I've lost 1 penny on the trade so far, but I'm not, it's not like I'm watching every tick. I mean, actually, I kind of am, but I'm not trying to care too much about every single tick on this trade because this one could take, a couple of days or a couple of weeks even. So not terribly worried about, what's going to happen this afternoon or tomorrow morning, as long as the general trend is going to be up. If we get down to 265, I will stop out on this one and get out and move my capital on to the next trade. All right, so Senseonics. Senseonics bounced above a Fibonacci level today, so really love to see that. You got this Fibonacci level right here. It looks like it was at the $3.05 mark or so, and gapped up, currently sitting at $3.12. So we've got that as support underneath us now. So that is a good look for Senseonics. I don't have a whole lot more on this one other than there are some pretty big gaps to the downside on this one. But as we continue to trek higher and higher from here, I would be less and less worried about these gaps down here. Now, if we start to swing down, I'm going to be looking at these gaps a lot harder and wondering, you know, are we going to gravitate towards those gaps? But like I said, you know, keep seeing these green candlesticks, keep trending higher, then we're kind of starting to put those gaps in the past and not have to worry about them. All right, let's move on to SOS, the other stock that I nibbled on a little bit today. I didn't enter a full position. I actually already had a small position in this one, and I added another small position to this stock today. And the reason is we're getting more and more good news coming out about this company not being fraudulent. Basically, this stock has been getting beaten up from its all-time high of 1580, whatever it's at back here. That might not be the absolute all-time high, but it's definitely the recent. Yeah, it looks like it might have come down. Yeah, it came down from much higher in its past before it was a cryptocurrency company. Now that it's a cryptocurrency company primarily, this is kind of the new chart for it. So you can kind of call this an all-time high, I guess. I don't know. All-time high for the new business model, maybe? Maybe we need a term for that. But it's been getting beaten up because there are a lot of fraud claims on this company, because it's easy to do that when the company is based in China and nobody has eyes on it, and you know, you can't just like walk over to their headquarters and look at it. And so they put out a video yesterday that showed all of their miners, their cryptocurrency mining rigs, or at least some of them, not all of them. Actually, I counted, and there was only like 500 of them, even though they claim to have like 10,000 right now. So they did not show very many of them in the video. You can go to their website and find the video. It's at, I don't even think that's the correct website, actually, unless this redirects us. That is not the website that I was tracking this morning. Let's see here. Nope, that's not the right website. Anyway, I'm not trying to make any edits in this video, so we're going to keep moving along. But I did watch the video this morning. It is floating around. If you just Google it, you can find it. They do show a bunch of rows of miners like actively mining, or what appears to be actively mining. So, you know, they're trying to be as transparent as they can with all these fraudulent claims coming in about them. So I think that is good. You know, they answered the public directly in very strongly worded statements. They're putting out videos showing their operations. It doesn't look like they're trying to hide anything. They do seem to be very legit. And at this current valuation, they are much, much cheaper than a Marathon or a Riot for the amount of Bitcoin that they're mining. And that's because of these short sellers and these fraud claims. So once we clear that, you know, if there is a short squeeze here, this thing is going to shoot to the moon quickly. So I wanted to have a small position in this stock just in case we moved so quick that I couldn't even get in at my buy point, which would be above this blue line right here. So we're not quite at the buy point yet. You know, it might be, let's say 720 right now, or tomorrow it would be even lower, like maybe 710, somewhere in that range. We're not there yet, so I haven't put on a full position yet, but I did want to nibble just to be exposed in case we get that moonshot, maybe overnight or something like that. Okay, let's move on to Tesla. Oh man, this has been quite a story. I bought Tesla 2 days ago. Channel members know that. I posted I let them know, hey, I'm buying in at this Fibonacci support right here 2 days ago. I think I bought in at 577. Got really fortunate that I didn't get stopped out down here when it started to tread lower under support. And of course, I don't want to make any edits to this video, and I've got a lawnmower right outside the window, so please bear with me through that noise. If it's not too bad, I will take a look back in post and see if this is just absolutely ridiculous and I have to edit it out, but hopefully not. Anyway, today we had another big update in the morning. We have been treading lower since then. We got all the way down to like maybe 668, it looks like, something like that, but we're starting to head back up. So I'm wondering, is that late morning swoon done? And now we're going to start heading higher, because we put in a nice little tail here on this candlestick. So hopefully we're heading up from here and we can break through this next Fibonacci level and not see it act as resistance. I really want to see us slice through that so that we can continue to head higher. So all that said, if we bump our heads up against this thing one more time, two more times, and start to head lower, that's probably a sign that I'm going to get out of this trade, because we just failed to break through that resistance line. So I am watching that line right there. It's right around the $700 mark, maybe $695 range. Really trying to break through that and get it underneath us so that it is support instead of resistance. All right. That's it for Tesla. Let's move on to our last ticker, Zomedica. This one looks like it is above our wedge pattern, so it could be a buy here if we close at these levels. If we don't see like an afternoon sell-off, or we back down into the pattern, then this would look like a buy. So I know I got a lot of Zomedica fans out there in the subscribers, in the followership, so you might like what you're seeing here. If you're a long-term investor in this stock, then don't worry about the highs and lows, the swings of the day-to-day stock market and in Zomedica. But I would say this pattern is very bullish for this stock. So you probably like what you're seeing here. We got a little breakout. We would be targeting much higher prices based on the size of this wedge. I'll have to go back and look and see if it's a bull pennant or a wedge pattern, because that will change the price target. But I'll do that after this video. I don't want to do it live on the video, just because I don't want to mess it up and have to go back and edit the video. So but it does look like we have a breakout. If we close here above this line, I will be looking to buy this stock either late in the trading day, like right before the close, or tomorrow. So this might be my next target here, Zomedica. Looking really good on Zomedica. Okay, guys, so long story short, I bought Safe Bulkers, stock ticker SB. I bought SOS, stock ticker SOS. I bought Tesla 2 days ago, or 2 days ago, right? Down here at this support, and I'm watching, to see if we can get back up to this resistance or not and break through it. There's a lot of other really good looking charts out there right now that we talk about on this channel. So it's we're starting to head up, and it just feels a lot better over the last 2 days than it did the prior 2 to 3 weeks before that. So hope everybody out there is making some money in some of these positions. Let's hope for more green candlesticks in the future, right? That's all I got, guys. If you liked this style of video or got any value out of it whatsoever, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button. We do stock chart pattern analysis. I'm starting to get into the Fibonacci levels a little bit. I do live streams in the evening sometimes, and I take your tickers by request and pull them up and analyze them for you live right there. And I do a little bit of other things here and there, so go check out the channel. You can see all this stuff that I post, and if you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. That's all I got, guys. See you in the next one.